Welcome to the Hello Income Videocast. I'm Jared Sandler alongside Mike Bacsik. We're here in Surprise, Arizona for Rangers spring training. Time to talk a little bit about the Rangers catching situation. It seems like there are a lot of rumors circulating around that particular position involving guys outside of the organization. We spent a lot of time talking about Jonathan Lucroy in the offseason, and then just the other day, Evan Grant of the Morning News identified Derek Norris as a potential trade target. Norris, of course, playing for the San Diego Padres. Their GM is AJ Preller. Everyone wants to link John Daniels and AJ Preller whenever possible. But what we do know is that the Padres have a catching surplus, and so it makes sense that Norris would be expendable. First question, do you think the Rangers need to go out and upgrade the catcher spot? Is it a position like left field was before the Ian Desmond acquisition where you're like, man, things are looking good except there is a hole behind the plate?
I don't think so, just because they won 88 games last year with the same hole. So can they do it again? Can they win 80-plus games, 90-plus games with the catching situation as is? I think so. But I get where John Daniels is coming from. If it's him that's making the phone calls to try to possibly get another catcher, it adds depth to your organization. I guess you would send down Chris Jimenez, but I know he's really liked on the team. So to be like, yeah, we're getting Derek Norris, but I know a lot of guys on the team would be disappointed, the pitchers, primarily, that they would be losing kind of what they feel like is their best catcher behind the plate, framing pitches, calling the game. I know a lot of guys like him.
Yeah, and I think he can decline a minor league assignment and go through waivers and probably get claimed by someone because of some of those reasons. I think while the Rangers don't need to go out and make a change, I think Norris would upgrade. I mean, if you just look at any combination of those two, if it includes Norris, I think it is an upgrade. With that said, I think the Rangers have some leverage for some of the things you just talked about. I don't think they have to. And everyone looks at the offensive side. Well, the Rangers catchers offensively were among the best catchers in baseball. Now, they didn't necessarily do it with batting average, but they did it with power, with the OPS, and run production. And the run production is impressive because they were doing it pretty much from the 9th or 8th spot in the order for most of the season. They did it with 4 guys, 2 guys who weren't even in the picture when the season started, Chris Jimenez and Bobby Wilson. And I just wonder how much, it's spring training. So let's say the deal doesn't get done for a week. You bring Derek Norris in. How much does that eliminate some of the equity that both Chirinos and Jimenez have built up with the catchers? I know that catchers change teams in the middle of the season and they make the transition successfully. But I just wonder how much that changes things up, especially because Jimenez, the one thing he brings, I know they don't want to say he's a personal catcher to anyone, but he's Yu's favorite catcher, and it appeared based on the lineup last year that he was Cole Hamels' favorite catcher too.
I would say this, don't make the trade because of the chemistry issue. If a guy gets hurt in April or May and it looks like a longer-term injury or something you're not sure if you're going to be able to deal with possibly Wilson coming back up to help out, then make the trade. But right now, I would say, I'd like the Rangers to stay pat. Usually I'm in the, go get him, or trade this, go get that. I think in this situation, the Rangers are okay with where they're at. Unless during the season an injury is going to happen. Before all the rumors came up, Jared, I never thought to myself the Rangers season is going to be made or broken by the catching situation. So that's why I'm not as gung-ho on we have to go get a catcher.
Now, what does Derek Norris bring to the table? Last year, he hit lefties really well, had an OPS over 800. He also controlled the running game. He threw out about 32% of would-be base stealers. That is above league average. And in theory, he would be just an overall offensive upgrade at the catcher spot. Now, he did show signs of decline offensively last year. It was his first real season being the primary catcher. A full season for a catcher is not 162 games. That just doesn't happen. But I think he played over 110 games behind the plate. The walk numbers went down. One of the things that he did really well prior to joining the Padres, he walked quite a bit. He got that on-base percentage up around 360. Last year was just above 300. So I guess some of the risk, even though we're sitting here saying that, yeah, he'd probably be an upgrade, and then people are wondering, well, why not make the upgrade if you can do it? I guess maybe there is a little bit of a risk because the numbers went like this, and I don't know that he's demonstrated the skill set, the talent, and doesn't have the skins on the wall that Ian Desmond has to make you maybe be more confident that he can put the arrow back up like at least I am with Ian Desmond. Now, what could it take? What would you be willing to give up for Derek Norris? My guess, if I'm the Rangers, Jerks and Profar gets you Derek Norris and something else. Just Derek Norris isn't enough. I'd go for maybe one of the lower level starting pitching prospects, like I don't know, let's go with a Yohander Mendez. I know that's a guy AJ probably really likes. Maybe it's a Jose Leclerc, someone of that ilk. I'd like to stay away from Luis Ortiz and Dylan Tate.
Yeah, I think you're right there. It's not going to be one of your big four, Gallo, Brinson, Mazzara, Profar, in that order. So it'd be lesser, guys to trade for. I'm okay with it if it happens, but I don't think the Rangers need to do it.
There you go. He's Mike Bacsik. I'm Jared Sandler. The verdict is Rangers don't have to go out and get another catcher. If they do, hey, we'll roll with it. That's great. If not, certainly not going to make or break their season right now. And of course, you can make changes throughout the year. So if something changes, something evolves in this discussion, then the Rangers have the pieces to go out and maybe upgrade that spot. Again, thanks for tuning in. We'll have our podcast later in the week. Take care.